Hi, I'm Geraldine and I'm the Food Nutritionist, and today I'm going to talk to you about something that's very, very dear to my heart. I'm very, very passionate about this, and that is the way that we store our food in our own home. We can't really control a lot of other things that, how food is put together and things outside of the environment, but we can control what we do in our own home. And one of the things that we should really try and do is get rid of as much plastic as possible. Now, this is a typical shop for me. I do have a lot of vegetables because that's the mainstay, and I plan my meals, so I tend to know exactly what we're going to have when we're shopping. So for instance, I would always make sure when I'm buying olive oil that it would be in an opaque glass so that you can't see through it, so that it doesn't go off. That's really quite important. The other thing is that if I'm getting chia seeds, then I would put them in a jar and I would be putting them in the fridge as well. I use these as a lot of storage, and what I tend to do, if I've already got some tomatoes in there, for instance, I would take the tomatoes out and then I would put the tomatoes that I've just bought into the container, and then I would put the tomatoes that were already in there on the top, just so that I make sure that I'm actually rotating the food. Now, most people will always ask me, whenever I talk to people about their fridge and their organisation of their kitchen, they will always say, well, what about sell-by dates? Well, I think with most foods, especially real food, you would actually know when something has gone off. And also, the kind of ideas that I want to get across to you is that if you store it the way that I'm talking about, then you will automatically see what you've got in your fridge. Your fridge won't be really, really cluttered and full of food. And so therefore, you'll see what you've got in your fridge really, really easily. And then you'll know what to buy when you're going shopping. So, let's have a look in my fridge. Now, the first thing you'll notice about my fridge is the fact that it's not chock full of food. We don't really need to do that. The best thing that we can do is be organised so that it's all in its place. And once you take the packaging away, then there's instantly more room in the fridge. Down at the bottom, I tend to store all of my vegetables for juicing. So if you have 2 drawers, say in the fridge, then you can make one a juicing vegetable, if you're into juicing that is, and the other one that you can just make the normal veg. Okay, on the next level, I tend to have things like my salads. So there you'll see that I've got my salads, I've got some tomatoes there. That's a really, really good way, so that when I'm actually making up a salad, I literally just go, take out the bits that I need, put them on the side, use them and put them straight back. Next level, I usually have, if I've got any raw meats. Now today I've got some prawns in here, so that's what I'll be using. So any kind of raw meats, try and keep covered. And one of the good things that I do is I always plan my meals. I know exactly what I'm going to do. So what I then do is I'll then, if I'm going to use any kind of meat or anything, I'll season it and put it into a container, put the lid on it, and then when I'm ready to cook later, I can literally just take it out and use it. It's already seasoned, it's already done. I always keep my walnuts in the fridge as well, so they're in another tub. Obviously I use them for things like breakfast, and then going further up the fridge you'll see that I've got more fruits, and those are the things that I tend to use for my smoothies. Last but not least, in the drawer I always keep things like my almond milk. I've got tahini here. So I like to plan my meals. I like to know what I'm going to have. I like to have a really, really good list of exactly what meals I'm going to have, and then that way I can store them really nice and safely within the fridge. So there you have it, how to put your food away in your fridge nicely and cleanly. But look at all this waste we have here, and of course I always make sure that I recycle. So what about what you don't put in the fridge? An example would be a butternut squash. Also things like apples, pears, bananas, they don't need to go in the fridge. But look what I've got here. I've got some fantastic bags that I got from Lakeland, and this is how I store things, some of the things that don't go in the fridge. So for instance, I put my onions and my garlic in this bag, and what's fantastic about this bag is once I pull the drawstring, it has a lovely zip on the side, so therefore I'm always making sure that I'm rotating my food and taking out what I've already got in there first. So for more hints and tips, visit my website, thefoodnutritionist.co.uk, and thank you for watching.